The little things we say to our children every single day, they have a power we don't always stop and think about. These small words can build a child up, or they can, without us even meaning to, tear them down. In this explainer, we're going to look at how our words, our alfaz, really shape our children's inner world. And more importantly, what we can do to make sure that world is a safe and loving place. Okay, let's get right into it. Wow, this quote right here, it gets straight to the point, doesn't it? See, children are born with this incredible, wild, wonderful spirit. They're like little lions, so full of energy and questions. But sometimes, with our words and our actions, we can accidentally crush that spirit. We can turn that lion into a scared little jackal. So, where does this all begin? Well, the crazy thing is, it almost always starts from a place of love. It starts with what we call thicker in Urdu, that deep, deep worry we have for our children. We worry if they're safe, if they'll be successful, what their future will be. And this worry, even though it comes from a good place, is often where the trouble starts. Just look at the huge gap on this slide. In our heart, our niyant, our intention, it's so pure. It's full of love. It's full of that fikr we just talked about. We want the absolute best for them. But then, what actually comes out of our mouths, our alfaz, our words, can be so different. We want them to eat properly, but we say, why do you eat like that? We want to motivate them, but we compare them. Why can't you get marks like your cousin? It's this gap, right here, between our loving intentions and our harsh words, that starts to cause the damage. And it's not just at home, right? This pressure, it follows our kids straight into the school gates, where a whole new world of expectations is just waiting for them. You see, the truth is, a lot of teachers are under a massive amount of pressure too. They're stuck in the school's business plan. Think about it. Their job, their awards, even their bonuses, it all comes down to getting good results from the students. The source material uses this powerful image of a teacher being like a puppet, controlled by the circus master, the system. And who ends up paying the real price for this whole show? The child. And this is exactly what it can feel like for a child. To control a classroom, to meet those targets, the system needs order and discipline. But for a child who is naturally full of energy and spirit, this constant need for control can feel like being locked in a cage. It's all about taming their spirit just so the system can run smoothly. So you've got this pressure coming from home, and then this pressure at school. This nonstop stream of criticism and control. It really makes you stop and ask a very important question. What's the real long-term cost of all this as a child grows into an adult?
Well, the biggest price they pay is in their self-image. This is their internal picture of who they are. And that picture is built, piece by piece, brick by brick, from the words they hear about themselves every single day of their childhood.
Okay, I want you to imagine something with me. Think of your personality, your idea of you, as a really big house that you live in. This house has lots of rooms, and the walls of every room are covered in pictures. Now here's the really important part. What are those pictures? Well, every single negative thing a child hears becomes a picture that they hang on the walls of their inner house. You are so lazy. Click. A picture goes up. Doesn't your brain work? Click. There's another one. Stop crying. Be a man. Click. You'll never amount to anything. Click. Year after year, the walls of this house get filled with these horrible pictures. And this house, this is how they learn to see themselves. So what happens when this kid grows up? They become an adult who is still living inside this house full of negative pictures. They truly believe they are worthless. They can't speak up for themselves, not to their boss at work, not to their partner, sometimes not even to the house help. They are so easily dominated because deep, deep down, they believe they don't deserve any better. But here's the good news, and it's really, really important. This is not a life sentence. This house, this broken self-image, it can be repaired. We can help our children, and honestly even ourselves, start hanging new, beautiful pictures on those walls. So how do we do it? How do we start the repairs? Let's look at the solution. It's a path to healing, and it all starts by changing the way we talk, by moving away from judgment and towards connection. It really boils down to 3 simple but incredibly powerful steps. First, puchain. That just means get curious. Instead of judging what your child did, ask questions. Try to understand why they did it. Second, bulnidin, which means let them talk. Help them find the words for their big feelings, because often they just don't know how to say what's going on inside. And third,
tasdik. This means you validate their feeling. You let them know that whatever they are feeling is real, it's okay to feel that way, and you get it.
And here is a fantastic practical tip for you. When your child is upset and you ask what's wrong, and they just say baz, just because or nothing, don't let the conversation die there. Gently ask, I hear you, but can you tell me what's behind the baz? That one little question can open up a whole new world.
Let's look at a real-life example of how this works. A little girl was feeling very confused. A lady was really nice to her, but then, as a joke, she said, "Oh, you're so cute, I could just eat you up." The child felt happy, but also anxious. Now, look at the parent's response. The parent got curious, helped her find the words for her mixed-up feelings, happy and a little scared, and then validated it. They explained it's okay to feel both things at once. This is tasdik. This one small conversation helps that child understand her own complicated feelings, and that's huge.
So you see, this changes the entire goal of our conversations. The point isn't to correct our kids or to control them. The goal is to be curious, to really, truly understand them, to validate their world, and through all of that, to build a real, deep, lasting connection.
Okay, we've talked about the problem, the lasting damage it can do, and the beautiful path to healing. Now, let's bring it all back home. Let's talk about you and your very next conversation with your child. If you only remember one thing from our time together, please let it be this. Your words are not just sounds that disappear into the air. They are the building blocks of your child's reality. They become the pictures they hang on the walls of their inner house. You are the architect of how they see themselves.
And so, I want to leave you with this one final thought. The very next time you open your mouth to speak to your child, just pause for 1 second and ask yourself, what picture am I about to hang on their wall? Will it be a picture of love or one of fear? A picture of confidence or one of shame? The choice always is yours. This explainer was based on the amazing work of Sobhi and Noreen. If anything we talked about today resonated with you and you'd like to explore it more, you can reach out for counseling sessions or studies. All the contact information is right there on the screen. And please, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. We truly hope this was helpful for you.